Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at 12 legend teams for the Open Great League. Open Great League going to be another week available now, and so those are going to be 12 teams that people use to hit legend or even go beyond that to like rank 1 in the world, stuff like this. So definitely, if you enjoy those type of videos, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if not already, and let's move on to the team number 1. No reason to take a look at the meta, because the meta is still the same compared to basically in the beginning of the season. Nothing really changed, so let's move on to team number 1. This team here is going to be an interesting one here. It's going to be a team from a person that I cannot, like this name, sorry, I'm not going to say that one. But they hit legend with this one, with the Gudra, with the Lostheart, and the Sand Session. That's a thing that I kind of want to talk about as well. There's a little bit of a meta trend, and I feel like Lostheart got a lot of more play recently for a lot of people. So this is going to be an interesting team for a lot of them. I would imagine that Gudra tries to just win the lead, and then you try to align yourself with the backline. I feel like it's kind of a little bit tricky though against a few Pokemon like something like Mudboy, because your backline is both weak to kind of Mudboy Pokemon, so I'm not too sure how they're going to handle it, but they hit legend with this team. Quite an interesting one here for sure, but there are going to be some other Clodsire teams coming up now as well. Like the next one. We're going to have here a team that has Clodsire in the back, the Dragonite in the lead, and the Feraligatr as a safe swap. Kinda classic line of having a Dragonite in the lead and like a Feraligatr safe swap. That's like very like a Dragon type Pokemon in general, and Feraligatr together is a quite common lineup, because Dragon type Pokemon are great against Pokemon like Electric type usually. For Dragonite not so much, because you have the part flying typing, but just generally beat most of those hard answers to water, like also grass type Pokemon. And then we're going to have the Clodsire in the back, which is going to have the option to beat steel type Pokemon, which is quite nice, but also is a hard wall to Pokemon like that Wigglytuff, which is as important right now. Like honestly, Wigglytuff is everywhere, and as you can see as well for Clodsire, you win 5 out of the top 6 matchups, and 3 of them you win hard, which is quite ridiculous. So Clodsire has quite a lot of play in the current meta, for sure. Pokemon that you definitely should keep in mind. And we can move on to team number 3. This is going to be here a team that I tried out a little bit as well. Maybe there's going to be a video coming up here already, but it's not a legend team, I think. It's a 3200 ELO range team, which is also quite ridiculous. We're going to have the Feraligatr running Crunch, we're going to have that Altaria, we're going to have the Magnezone as a Shadow variant here in the back, trying to again counter those Wigglytuffs. The Wigglytuff very likely is going to be in the backline a lot of times, so having the Magnezone there is kind of nice. What I kind of realized while I played this team is just, if there's a Wigglytuff in the lead, you are kinda screwed. So it's a little bit of a difficult team to run for sure. But yeah, still interesting team here nonetheless, and we can move on to the next team, which is going to be one that I also showcased just today on the channel from West Arsen here, which is actually a team that someone else also used them to hit a rank 1 in the world. So very cool team here. We're going to have the Skeleturge, we're going to have the Gastrodon, we're going to have the Venusaur there as well, and those two together, like the backline there in general, are going to have a double weakness to ice, which we're going to be able to beat with the lead of Skeleturge. But in general, it's a solid team. Just take a look at the video that I did for it. I don't really have to explain too much about it. Just watch the video if you want to see a little bit more towards the team. And we can move on to team number 5 now. This is going to be a team that is, yeah, quite a decent one in the current meta. I would actually imagine that I might use a Spark Lantern as a Saysop here. I'm not too sure. Vigor Saysop, I just don't really enjoy too much, mainly because of the potential of Annihilate. But we're going to have another Shadow Dragonite here in the lead, which is a very good Pokemon in the top meta for sure. Like I see a lot of Shadow Dragonite people winning basically a lot of games with it, or like getting up to a legend with this. So like Shadow Dragonite for sure something that you should try out in the current meta. Here again, like I feel like Lantern might be the better safe up for this team, as a Vigoroth can struggle against Annihilate, and so yeah, might be the better way to go for him. Again, you can also use for Spark or Water Gun Lantern. Both of them are going to be okay. I feel like maybe Water Gun might be even better for this team, but let's move on to the next team. Not a lot changed here. I guess I can a little bit changed here. We're going to have the Annihilate as well as the Dragonite, which is going to give you a double weakness to Fairy type Pokemon. You really don't want to encounter them on the lead, but kind of how this team going to function most likely is you kind of want to stay in the lead if possible, try to align yourself. If not, hopefully Annihilate saves up is okay for you, which is a lot of times the case against like Pokemon like Steel types or Ice type Pokemon. And then I guess you want to try to keep your Registeel in the back to sweep endgame with those Pokemon. So yeah, interesting team here for sure. Having a double weakness to Fairy type Pokemon is quite scary in the current meta, I would say, but keep your shields for the Dragonite, especially for the Gligar matchup, and you should be kind of fine. Team number 7 is going to be one that I'll showcase on my channel already as well, so if you want to see a little bit more depth towards this team here, then feel free to check out the video. We're going to have the Shadow Feraligatr, the Shadow Bastiodon, as well as the Cresselia. Not too sure about the Cresselia moveset or the Feraligatr moveset. Feraligatr can go for Crunch, of course. Cresselia can go for the future side, so really depends on what kind of one you want here. Really depends on the team, but I feel like this team like this definitely does work out quite a bit, and I think it's a solid team for sure. But yeah, again, check out the video if you want to have a little bit more insight towards it. Next team here, we're going to have a team with the Deoxys defense and a double normal backline. Here for this team, you can also use the Say-Swap of the LilyKatchum, which I saw a lot of people running as well. Like Deoxys double normal is quite common in the current meta, and for sure is a team that should work out quite well. Green and Say-Swap I'm not too sure about right now, to be fair, but I still think that this team should work out like this quite well. Again, you can go for Thunderbolt or Rockset on the Deoxys depending on what you want to run, but I feel like this team should work out quite well in the current meta as well. This is like a very solid just like standard line. You're going to have Elite that's going to be weak against like Ghost as well as Dark type Pokemon. You have the Wiggly Tough in the back to kind of counter this. So like Deoxys Wiggly Tough core is currently one of the best cores that you can run and one of the most annoying cores to go up against. But yeah, for sure, so it should be a solid team, and we can move on to team number 9. Which is going to be a familiar one for you, because that is a My Legend team this time around. Again, I made a video about this one as well, explaining a little bit more on why I choose the Pokemon and how I choose the Pokemon. A lot of people like the video, so thanks all for the support on this one. There's going to be more similar in a similar style coming up for sure for like other metas, like not for this meta again. But yeah, Stunfisk gonna lead, Yugong Say-Swap, Wiggly Tough in the back. Seems like a silly team in the beginning, especially having the normal Unova and Stunfisk, which nobody's running right now. Check out the video, but you can see it also kind of a little bit here already. From the top 6 Pokemon in the meta, you beat 5 of them, 3 of them hard, and the one that you lose is like a very neutral matchup. This Pokemon right now is really underrated, and yeah, like check out the video, like it's a more in-depth variant of it, and also shows you on how to team build in your own meta, which is going to allow you to definitely get way more wins. Team number 10, we're going to have here a team that I also showcased already on YouTube, so like check out the video as well. This is the best Legend team that I copied so far that I used, and like honestly this was like such a good team to run. You're going to have Emporium, we're going to have Goodra, we have Wiggly Tough. This was one of the best teams. Again, check out the video. Like honestly, this team was so good. Like if I would choose one of them that I think like most people would be able to run and have a great success with it, I would most likely would be this team. Like I think this is going to be the most consistent team for you to win battles with. But yeah, let's move on to team number 11. Here we're going to have a team where you can also go for the Shadow variant of Gligar. Both of the Gligar variants are totally fine. Again, I don't know if it's going to be Crunch or Ice Beam on that Feraligatr. And Annihilape in the back. It's a very classic line, like a line that you most likely saw also already like 4 months ago or something like this, and like 2 seasons ago or something like this, because like yeah, Annihilape plus the Feraligatr plus Gligar, it's just like kind of meta Pokemon thrown together. They all kind of counter Steel type Pokemon quite a lot, which is kind of nice right now. Gligar in general is just very safe in the current meta, I feel like, and so very solid team. And we can now move on to the final one for today. It's going to be a team here that is running the Shadow Venusaur. And honestly, Shadow Venusaur, I agree with, is one of the coolest core breaker, and you see it already. Like, look at the top meta and look what Venusaur does here. It basically beats everything on it. That is not like a flying type Pokemon, which is actually nearly accurate there. Like, it's basically from the first few losses are only flying type Pokemon, and anything else Shadow Venusaur actually beats, which is quite ridiculous. And maybe I'm gonna take a look at this Pokemon again as well in the future. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. A little bit of a shorter one, because those are just the Legend teams. There's nothing a lot to explain about them. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you later for some Lucario content most likely.